During the pandemic, all of us got a sense that big government was really close to big pharma. And now our auditors at openthebooks.com, we can quantify just how close they are. Every single year, the National Institutes of Health, for example, they dole out $30 billion worth of grant making to 50,000 plus entities. That buys you a lot of friends, that buys you a lot of clout in the healthcare industry. So 10 months ago at openthebooks.com, we filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the National Institutes of Health for their third-party paid royalty database. And they ignored the request. So we sued them with Judicial Watch in federal court. On February 1st, the agency admitted to holding 3,000 pages worth of line-by-line third-party paid royalty payments. And they started producing 300 pages a month. So today we've received 1,800 pages out of the 3,000 pages. And we can see the top line. So we can estimate now that over the course of the past decade, up to $400 million worth of third-party paid royalty payments enriched the agency and up to 2,000 of its scientists, like former director of the NIH, Francis Collins, and Dr. Anthony Fauci received royalties, and other leaders like the acting director of the National Cancer Institute, Douglas Lowy. Douglas Lowy, out of 2,000 scientists, he ranks 21st on the receipt of royalty payments. Now, every single one of these payments could be a perceived conflict of interest. Since NIH is doling out 50,000 grants for tens of billions of dollars, and then coming back through the other door are hundreds of millions of dollars worth of third-party paid royalties, the people, the press, the pundits, the politicians, we need to be able to follow the money. We need to be able to see if there is conflict of interest issues at play. Yet the National Institutes of Health, they're acting like they have a lot to hide. They're blanking out, they're redacting the name of the royalty payer, the amount to the individual scientist, and they're also redacting and blanking out, erasing the patent number and the license number. So we don't know who paid the $400 million over the course of the past 10 years. We don't know the amounts that went to, say, Collins or Fauci or Lowry or the other leaders at NIH, and we don't know what they invented. Oftentimes, NIH is saying that this is a trade secret for government. The last time that this database had transparency, which was 2005 with the Associated Press, and they got an unredacted database. You could see the conflicts of interest. And there was a scandal. Dr. Fauci, alongside of his deputy, Clifford Lane, they both served the Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases. They had co-invented an AIDS drug. And they had received $45,000 worth of royalties over the course of a 7-year period, while they also greenlit up to $36 million into the further development of that drug. Director of the agency doling out grant money and funding decisions while collecting personal royalties. And that's the definition of a conflict of interest. And Fauci agreed. He said that he would donate his royalties to charity. Fast forward 17 years, no sunshine on the third-party paid royalty complex, and now we know it's a lot larger. Rather than 900 scientists receiving royalties like in 2004, there's now 2,000 scientists. The amount of the royalties every single year has gone up from about $9 million a year to over $36 million per year. We need transparency. We need to be able to see where every dime is flowing within this potentially unholy alliance. Who knew that as a scientist working for government with a taxpayer-paid salary, working in taxpayer-paid labs, that your royalty payments are forever? They follow you even after you die. Your estate gets to collect the royalty payments. If you leave the agency, they travel with you. Some of the top royalty receivers at NIH left the agency 20 and 25 years ago, and they are serial entrepreneurs, starting for-profit businesses, government institutes, and nonprofit organizations. And they've collected oftentimes hundreds of millions of dollars worth of grants over a 15-year period from NIH. Some of the scientists who have an invention at NIH who are collecting royalties from that invention, left the agency, started a for-profit business, and licensed back their own invention. So when Lawrence Tabak, the acting director of the National Institutes of Health, goes in front of Congress and is asked by Michigan Representative John Molinaire if there's a conflict of interest, and he says, yes, every single one of these payments has the potential to be a conflict of interest, but trust us, we have firewalls. I'm not buying it.